to be around certainly another 3 years, at least 5 years. However, my most concern about the future, I feel, is it is not going to prosper. Right now, I feel that NABWP is sort of a static continuum. There are enough people committed to it and determined that it's going to be around in some form. My biggest concern about it is it's not going to grow or prosper or get the influence and impact that some members would desire. In fact, I came up during the breakfast meeting this morning before it started with Dr. Johnny Bush. We can't do it without a better disciplined membership. We need the financial resources, and we need some more people at other places. We don't have to have a huge membership, but we're going to have to do better than that. We're going to have quality people that will do the work and give the resources. It only takes a relatively few dollars from the number of people we have that make a difference. We shouldn't be struggling year after year, worrying about money, or still having the same drop balls and confusion which saps our strength and energy that we have. So I believe we're going to be around, but the issue is, will we prosper? If those issues are addressed, if things get better, we will even do better than I think we will do right now.
How do you feel about the leadership component of the NA?
The leadership component of the NA, the people that serve as leaders of the NA are basically the people that have the resources, energy, and time to do what is required. This is not a paid function. And this particular thing, it's an expensive one too. You've got to have the time and the energy to do things on a regular basis. The ones that are the leaders tends to be the ones, as a rule, that care the most, with some exceptions. There have been mistakes made in things that were done, maybe not according to the bylaws you have or the process. That has hurt sometimes. In fact, we've had some outright thievery, the case I'm sure you are aware of. And there's been some on the local level. That has hurt us a bit. So we need to be cognizant of that. We've tried to take steps to prevent it. There's no 100% guarantees here or anything in the real world, whether it's in business or in our political governments for large-scale society. But those are things that I would be concerned about. Those are false leadership, but there are a lot more positive things that people have put in an inordinate amount of time and effort, which has not been followed up by the membership as a whole, certainly the grassroots, as it really could have or should have.
Ali, as we approach the 20th anniversary, if you could encapsulate in maybe one or two sentences, what do you see as the legacy of the NA for us and for society?
We are a group, a specialized group of people of interest that have lasted for 20 years. We've had fits and starts. We've got a number of solid accomplishments that I've made, and we're going to have more. Now it is the challenge to build upon what we have and see if we can do better, to reach out, to really make a difference in society more than we've had.
And is there anything else you'd like to add to this interview in terms of personal recollections or anything else that you'd like to add?
Probably the most things about personal recollections is it's sort of a mechanism that I can do thought processes on and make me reflect. It makes me more attentive to things than otherwise would be. I mean, every time I see something on the news or read an article about race relations or gay issues concerned, I think of BWP, this is something we can do, or even things about non-profit agencies, about the operations of the board and so forth. I think of it as sort of a mechanism to do that for.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you very much, Ali Lee Taylor, and for this interview, and this will become part of our archives.
Thank you very much. I certainly enjoy doing it, and I hope it goes well.
Thank you.
Continuing an interview with Les Everett, which we began on an earlier tape. And Les, you were in the middle of finishing your answer to the question of how being a black man has affected your experiences in this organization.
Yes, and I was just saying that it has definitely been a plus in that my confidence has just been built up that I can, I'm capable to do whatever I set my mind to do. And having lived the early part of my life thinking that, being made to believe by this idea of oppression that that we can't do and accomplish certain things, being a part of this organization has proven just the opposite.
Well, what do you like best about the NA?
What I like best about the NA, I like, first of all, what the NA stands for in principle. I'm very much committed to the fight against racism. I want to see healing take place among the races. So I'm very much into the whole idea of what NABWMT is about. I like the people. We share some common likes there, and that's always good. It's a wonderful support group. I like that. I like the national network of that's established through being a part of this group. I love the conventions. I love the times together. There's always something going on. I like the idea of being able to go to a different city and having that as an initial contact if needed as a member chapter of the NA.
And you indeed are taking us to a new city in 2 years, we hope.
Oh yes, we're going to New Orleans. Get ready for a great time.
I want to ask you if you have a new song for the next convention.
I'll work on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, not to be negative, but what do you like least about this organization?
Well, after serving as, in several different leadership positions in the organization, the thing I think I like the least about it is that I think, and I'm not finger pointing, I think we as a group tend to be very small thinkers. And I don't like the idea that the impression comes across to me that as a group, we're not willing to take the risk. We're not willing to readily embrace changing. And in a way, I think that holds us back from reaching some of the goals that we want to reach. But I think if we could just step out a little bit more out of our comfort zone and really put our mind to it, we could be one of the top leading organizations in the country.
Well, in that respect, what do you think is the future of this organization?
I think, unlike many that I've heard, there is a future for this organization. Many people base our progress on the fact that we are losing, we have lost a lot of folk, and that our chapters are not as strong as they could be. And we sort of look at ourselves as dwindling away. But maybe there needs to be a falling away, Maybe there has to be a falling away before there is a surge of growth and sort of a rejuvenation or renewal. But I think the renewal's coming. This is too important of an issue that we think is just going to go away. There's always going to be somebody that's going to champion this issue. And my vision, my hope, my dream is that this organization is going to be the one who does that. And I think eventually this group may not reflect exactly what it was in the early 80s, but I think it's going to remain. And I think there is a future and a purpose for it.
So, is there life after being co-chair?
Oh, of course. Getting involved again in another convention in New Orleans, and maybe we can talk about that after that's over. But yes, there's life after being co-chair. Again, maybe I'm in a better position to assist and help now than I was then, because I've had some of the experiences. I've been there. So maybe I can make a contribution in that way. I'm certainly proud of the fact that people tend to, for the most part, the majority of folks tend to come to me and to trust me and to seek my assistance on things, and advice and input. And that's a good feeling, and I think that's a good spot in which to be.
You've become an elder statesman.
Oh, an elder statesman. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, is there anything you'd like to add?
I would just like to thank you, and again, thank the organization for the opportunity that they've given me. And it's been a wonderful trip. You know, if I don't get to do anything else, it's just been wonderful. I've done good, and I appreciate that. We've got a wonderful organization. Let's keep it that way.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.